Mauro, thanks again, man, for coming out. You know, my Italian brother, all the way from Barcelona, Spain, here in San Francisco. You know, in a nice library with a lot of mahogany. I think there's some scotch in here, my friend. You know, maybe we should get some. But
are we drinking scotch
tonight, maybe I think we will. I think we will. But besides that, man, you know, your journey so far, you've got an amazing story. You work with a lot of amazing people. You know, if you can, you know, just give me some glimpse into how you got to where you are today, man.
Sure. Yeah. So first of all, nice to be with you today and with the agentic team. So very briefly, my background is mainly sales. So I was what's so-called fractional chief sales officer. So basically, I build sales team for other people, specifically remote sales. So closers, setters. And what happened is that one of the companies we're working so well. We did 10x the revenue in 10 months. We were growing so fast. And basically, we realized that one of the bottleneck of the business was a specific type of humans, SDRs, what's called appointment setters. And we realized that the problem was so big that everybody in the industry has it. And you know, at one moment, we realized we cannot continue with this. And we decided to go into AI. That's the main thing why we're here. We replace humans.
Yeah, no, the average SDR, BDR rep, or MDR, as they used to call them back in the day, I think is less than 6 months, especially in the software space. But
and that's long.
Yeah.
Compared to others, that's still long compared to ours.
Yeah, to yours. So the intricacies with your space is so different than mine. Do you mind kind of sharing, you know, how you see that space evolving, what you're doing with agents, right? And also, too, like what made it the right time in terms of timing, space, and technology? Would love to get your take on that.
Absolutely. So my space, the space where I found the most interest is the what's called high ticket niche, right? So we are speaking about coaches, consultants, everybody that sells, let's say, $2,000 and up, and has a short sales cycle, like 2 to 10 days. That is very good for business. And they usually use a remote sales team, right? So this space is very good because once you find the product market fit, you can start scaling like very fast. You don't need funding and whatever. So in this specific niche, you have two types of, the funnel is very easy. It's like PPC, setting, there's the SDR, and the closing. Once you arrive to the closing team, basically the deal is closing the call. That's it. Now, the appointment setter, the difference between the what's called SDR appointment setter hours and the other one, usually they use a lot of inbound leads and they stay on the chat like WhatsApp, Facebook, text every day, right? So it's not even finding opportunity, but it's transforming leads into appointments. That is very robotic job because you got to follow up all the time, make sure that they reply. And for us, that the intricacy of that job is that on paper is really easy. And on practice, it's very hard to find humans that do it, right? That's crazy.
Hey, up and down type of days every single day, man.
Yeah. And the thing is hard to find people that stay long-term because if you're skilled, you go up to the closing, to the other part of the business. So that's why, right? And it's very important because it's very centered on return of investment. Like the appointment setter job is relatively easy, but if you do it badly, the company goes down. Mm-hmm. And you also have one day, like you fight with your girlfriend, the company goes down for that. So that's the up and down. Why agentic? The agents are the key. If you have the sales knowledge, and that was my practice, right? And you know what is the best, let's say, utopic sales guy, you can really apply into an agent that does everything as you really want. So you can create a perfect sales agent. That's what we build, right? Like no time problems, infinite scalability. Humans love to have creativity, right? They got a script, they don't use it because it's too boring. AI doesn't have the problem. So in our specific niche, we saw that right now we can replace 80 to 90% of the workforce, and we just have the top one, 2 people managing all the other SDRs. So instead of having 20, we have 1. So we have a little bit of human moderation, and 95% of all of that is AI converted.
Wow. So you're telling me that you've gone from headcount of 20 people to 1.
Yes,
so
true.
Can you talk about a little bit of the history of how this was done previously, how you're doing it now, right? And what are the results that you guys are seeing?
Look, before, in order to solve this, the known solution was to build this huge castle of HR. So you got teams, you got managers, my wife was an appointment center manager, right? And you have HR recruiters, because when somebody get out, you got to replace them very fast. So this old castle for these people that stored 2-3 months, not more than 2-3 months. So at one point was the last May 2024, I had 200 interviews for this specific role. Guess how many we hired?
Zero. Egg.
At one point I said, come on, man, we cannot, this is too much. So we decided to do it with AI. And usually how this worked in the past is that the appointment center manager used to send this Google sheet to the appointment setters. They need to fill it in the data. How many people I contacted today? How many appointments did I propose? How many, all of that. So 20 people receive it, put it together in a Google sheet. And guess what? How many times do you think was accurate, the data? Like never. So
never.
Conversion rate 300%. Really? How is that possible, right? So also the data blindness, it was a big thing. So in our case right now, we have a system that is called, our AI employee that we built together is called Natalia. It's an inbound appointment setter and has a multi-agent framework in the back that we built with you. And mainly you have 2 parts. So one part is the moderator and the other part is the sales agent. Why this is important? The moderator is basically only check what the agent is doing for 3 reasons. 1, safety and compliance. Somebody wants to sue you, you cannot have AI answer to that, stop the conversation, send to the lawyer. Second, everything that is human moderation happens in the moderator. So there is the one guy that used to with 20 that receive a notification and say, hey guys, check this chat. The second thing is enrichment. So you gotta know what is going on. Extract like, what is the type of behavior of Hans? What does it like? What is the pain point? So is that. And the third thing is data visualization. So right now we have a dashboard. Now this is funny. I pitch and say, hey, the name of our startup, say, hey, to a customer, and retailers say, look, I don't know if we are ready to go AI, but can we please add the moderator to have all the data? because we don't have all this data. So the moderator is a good part. And the other part, is the sales agent. And the sales agent is very important to just don't have API connected to OpenAI, because right now AI can do a lot of things, but sales is one of the things that is very hard to do with AI, right?
Yeah.
So one of the key factors for us was the multi-phase agent. So what does it mean? Every sales has phases like a pipeline, right? Like you know better than anybody else. But also every single phase has micro phases.
Yeah.
Like you want to ask a girlfriend out, you go to the disco, you don't ask if you want to get married, right?
People don't know the outcomes, man. You can get into some very intricate flowcharts when you start talking about stuff like this at this level.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Sorry. You are thinking about, right, the trees of decision making, right? What are the outcomes, right? What are the viable outcomes? What is my path of decision? What is my path associated to this outcome, right? And the enablement of doing that through autonomy, through agents, through having your methodologies within the model that we've created for you, specifically in terms of how you know that space sells.
Exactly.
Right? This is just a game changer in our minds. Talking about what you've done and how we've started, right? Like the path, you and I, we were talking about this, off camera earlier.
Yeah.
I met your business partner. It was your birthday. I didn't even know.
7 November. Yes,
yeah. Sir. We were at Digital Garage, which is in San Francisco. Side note, I think in like maybe 2015, it was the first place, or maybe around that time, that had a Bitcoin ATM. Doesn't have it there anymore, which is funny.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, funny, random, right? But to that though too, right? It was a place of like inception and technology. You quickly came over to us and said, you guys can build this, and you guys have your own model, and you guys have your own private conversational model. What the heck is going on here, right?
Yeah.
So I think that somebody from your sense who's got that, knack of understanding technology, right? But also has that business aptitude of being, okay, I understand the intricacies of this space. I understand the nuance of it, but also more importantly, I understand where the value is, right? Of where technology can be applied to this. That was the magic combination within this Launchpad program. And, you know, I think the results are foreseen for themselves. So where are you guys at? What are you guys doing now? The last question I'll add to you with that though too, right, is if you can think of AI doing anything associated to this space, where do you see it? And how do you see it being applied? And what are the benefits and value associated to that?
Absolutely. So first step, where we are right now is that, first of all, what you created with the Agentics, the Launchpad, has been for us. And again, nobody asked me to say this, but it's true. In the past, we used to have like a lot of employees, developers, and we made so many mistakes because I'm not a tech guy, right? The first product was built on like C#. I say, how do we build in C#? Like, we don't know. I like that. So with you, has been extremely fast, extremely inexpensive compared to what you do. So thanks for that. And I think that the best thing that you guys do is the knowledge of startups. So you understand that it's not only random developers that you pick up from, I don't know, Fiverr. These are people that knows how to build startup, to go fast, to go lean, to don't overcomplicate stuff, because we need to have it robust. And the speed that we got with you guys, I never saw it like this. And this is completely sincere. Somebody's not sleeping in your team, probably. So I say, this guy never sleeps.
Hey, we have a follow the sun business model, but that that means a lot to me. Thank you.
It's true, completely true. So right now with the business, right now we are scaling. We are like 25K a month. And how I see the business in the future. Appointment setting was ever meant to be a robot job, like done by a human. So I see that in the future, in our space, we're gonna have some things that cannot be replaced. For example, face-to-face sales. I will never want to be in a video call with a robot that is selling me something, right?
Agree.
Yeah, even if you can, I don't want a robot to do it, at least for now. The part that I think that is incredibly powerful in AI is all the low value jobs that has been done by humans. They usually also hate to do, like nobody likes to do in the long term, has been replaced like 1 or 2 years by AI and done a lot better. Because our mission in the end is to enable business. I'm a big capitalist guy, right? This is not a big word today, like people don't like it anymore, but I love capitalism. I love the capitalism can solve many problems of the world. So I think that an entrepreneur must solve the problem, like the product, the service, the delivery, right? Coaches that helps people must help people. So our aim with AI is to reduce the complexity of the acquisition at the minimum as possible. So a business that have a great product, a great service can scale much faster, right? So I really think that the low value skills are gonna be completely replaced to leave the high value skills, people that know their stuff, the good sales guy do their job better and faster. Yeah.
Man, dude. And the fact that we're playing a part of this, I'm gonna stay back and just watch it do your thing, because that's exactly what's transpired in front of us. So, hey man, thank you.
Cheers, man. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you again. And thanks for what you're doing.
Hey, just get to back people like you, man. So
let's go.
Yeah.